Welcome to Randall Reacts. This is the chance where I react to the most inspiring content on the internet. And today we have the one and only Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he's being interviewed by Pastor Stephen Furtick. Let's just take 1 to 2 seconds just to make sure we are up and running. Okay, wonderful. We are up and running. Let's go into today's reaction video. Just by the way, if you know these two individuals, then you know that this is going to be a good one. So if you're an entrepreneur or a leader, I'd encourage you to stick to this video and just get the golden nuggets. And let me see also, because it's the first time I'm watching this too. Let's have a quick look. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning into our channel. Today, we want to share an exclusive interview that Pastor Stephen did with Bishop T.D. Jakes on entrepreneurship and leadership. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this special presentation.
I want to read you something. And this was written by Judd Apatow. He was writing about the comedian Albert Brooks and how he got a chance to work with one of his heroes. And just a couple sentences, but he said something that I would love to say about Bishop Jakes before he comes. And he said, in your dreams as a young guy, you imagine your heroes to be one thing, and then you get a chance to work with one of them, and he's actually even better. He said, deep down, all comedy nerds hope that at the end of our lives, we will have made one movie as good and true as Albert Brooks's best movies. I'll modify that a little bit. Deep down, all preachers and leaders hope that at the end of our lives, we will have.
I just want to take a quick note, and I won't be interrupting the video at pivotal moments. But before we begin, I just want us to just recognize the swag that this pastor has. He doesn't have a suit or tie on. He has a chain on, and the trajectory of where church is going is no longer traditional. I remember being at church, and we always had to have a collared shirt on. And now when we look at the West, it's moving into the direction of very much casual. You can now come to church with a pair of shorts on. Come on. Come on. Okay, let's continue.
Preached one sermon as good and true as Bishop T.D. Jakes' worst sermon.
Come on.
Would you put your hands together, Elevation Church, and welcome to the stage.
Welcome, Bishop. Welcome.
Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Wat gaan aan met die audio van die video? Oh, it's just the video. It's just the video. Come to.
I don't know how we're supposed to do this, but I want to tell you right off the bat, this is my Stephen Furtick outfit. This is me trying to be cool like your pastor. Did I do pretty good? Cool, man.
So I inspired you.
You inspired me.
Can we call it even now for all of the stuff I've ripped off from you over the years?
The only problem is my thighs can't breathe.
That's a problem.
That's a stiff jeans right there. Hy's 'n stywe broekie, jong. Jenne, hoe gaan dit met die jewels daaronder? Kan die jewels breathe?
So if we see you leaning over.
Yeah, I need an EMT for my knees, but I'm good.
Ay.
Woo. Woo. You can't dance in these things, man.
You can't?
You know, you just got to jump up and down.
Can you soar?
I can soar in them. I can soar in them.
How would you like to hear Bishop T.D. Jakes and Pastor Stephen Furtick sing I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly, a duet to begin this interactive experience?
No, Papa, no.
Is that something you might be interested in?
Yes, come on.
All the millennials are like, R what?
Yeah, I know, right?
Imagine. I'm not sure if this was I think this video was shot before the whole R. Kelly scandal, because I don't think Pastor Furtick would have made that comment based off what transpired. But let's see.
Maybe we'll do that at the end.
No, let's not.
Do you like that song?
Good
Yeah, I
idea.
like the song.
Good idea.
What are some songs that you like to listen to, Bishop?
Interesting. Bishop said Did you see his reaction? He said, "No, I don't." If this was shot before the R. Kelly scandal, I wonder if T.D. Jakes knew the behind the scenes of what happened with R. Kelly, or maybe he just doesn't jive with the music. It could go either way.
Jakes that don't get played in church.
That don't get played in church? Woo!
Okay, so the question was, because you just skipped over. Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe we'll do that at the end.
No, let's not.
Do you like that song?
Yeah, I like the song.
What are some songs that you like to listen to, Bishop Jakes, that don't get played in church?
That don't get played in church? Woo! Cut the cameras.
Cut the cameras, baby.
Oh, you guys can be seated. We're hanging out now. They're so excited.
I like Luther Vandross.
Hi, Unity congregation. The people were standing for the past 3 minutes. Finally, sit down, Mensa. Sit down.
I like Anita Baker, you know. I like lesser known but extremely talented is Kiko Matsui. Kiko Matsui is a Japanese jazz pianist that is absolutely out of this world. And I listened to her this evening before I came over here, so I'd have my international flavor. Yeah. So I like all kinds of music. I like classical music. I like gospel music, of course. I like just about every kind, every genre. Even some country. I'll go country on you every now and then.
Greatest rock and roll band of all time.
Oh, God, now I'm in trouble. Now I don't go rock and roll. No. Though it's funny. I grew up in the Jimi Hendrix era. So, you know, anybody, you Jimi Hendrix? No. Yeah. Big poster of him on the wall. My life's ambition was to have his afro. I had women braiding my hair till my eyeballs were up like this, trying to get my hair to grow. It never happened. I didn't get hair till the Jerry curl.
That was your moment.
You don't know nothing about a Jerry curl.
Yes, sir, I do.
You don't know nothing about that.
I mean, not from personal experience. I've seen pictures.
You've seen pictures of it. Well, when I used to preach years ago, I wore a Jerry curl, and I had a towel around my neck. And when I got to really preaching, so, you've seen some pictures or something? Yeah, and the Jerry curl.
This Jerry curl. I remember the Jerry curl, and it looked, I think it was either in the front and the back. It was one piece of string hair. Do you remember this? One piece of string down the forehead, greasy piece of string, greasy. Hey, Mensa.
Curl, the juice would fly across the front aisle, and everybody gets slain in the spirit.
Holy water.
Those were the days when the power of God was falling.
Is that the secret?
That's the secret. You got to get a curl.
No secrets.
I'm in trouble. So excited about this new book. So excited to talk to you about it tonight.
Thank you.
I've been reading it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, though. I had to do my research to interview you, and so I put in Amazon because the book is subtitled "Build Your Vision from the Ground Up," and focuses on leadership, entrepreneurship. So I put entrepreneur in Amazon search, and over 56,000 results.
Wow.
Over 56,000 results. And then I put in leadership, over 257,000 results.
Amazing.
Which made me wonder, for my first official question of the interview.
Okay, here we go.
What was missing from the conversation that made you want to add your voice?
Timing. What we need depends on where we are in the history of this country. The topography of this country has changed in terms of how we make a living quite a bit, from agricultural. We went through that phase to industrial age, to the information age that we're currently in right now. And people have had to retool themselves in order to keep up with trends they didn't choose. Now we're in an era where people of my generation send our kids to school because we train them to think a job.
True.
And we said, if you go to school and you get a good education, you're going to come out and you're going to get a great job. And that was true when I was coming up. But that's not true today. Today, you can, am I right about it?
Isn't that so true, eh? Back in the day, it was go to school, get a job, and work for 25 years and retire. And we realized you can't do that. You can't follow that. You can't unless you're in a profession that is stable, lawyers, doctors. But even then, it's not guaranteed. So I think the lesson here for me is that moving forward, when I have kids one day, is whatever you want to do it. Whether it's a doctor, whether it's an electrician, whether it's a plumber, you can do the job. However, I want to stimulate that creative side of the entrepreneurial aspect. So there has to be that other source of income just for that security, because nothing is secure, whether it's entrepreneurship or a real job. Nothing is real. Nothing is secure.
Today, you can go to school, you can get a great education and come out with a good bill. A whole lot of debt and end up working at Burger King. Nothing against Burger King. But how do we... I have to be careful, brother, like we get sued on the regular. The question then becomes, how do we, with our education and our disappointment, living in our mother's house, sleeping on the couch, eating cereal at noon, retool ourselves so that we can be functional in the 21st century? I listen to the argument that our country's having right now. It's hard to listen to. But beneath all of the chatter, the red belt states and the inner cities are crying about the same thing, the lack of opportunity. And we're looking to the White House to solve the problem. And the reality is that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
As a South African and living now in Canada, when I look at the US, a couple of things comes to my mind. It's just so everything is just so eccentric in the US. That's just the perception that I have. Everything is big. Everything is dramatic. Hey. But I mean, I could be wrong. I need to visit it and spend some time there. If you are from the US and you're watching this, or you have family there, let me know what their experience was, or what's your perception and your experience being in the US or just being an observer.
And we need solutions. And this goes beyond, we like to talk in terms of, we have nice terms for it, but it's really black and white, urban and red belt states is really black folks, white folks.
Yeah.
But now we're both getting broke. Okay, which is a scary situation.
And that's the thing too, in South Africa too, it used to be the Caucasians had all the money, and now tables have turned, it's Caucasians and black individuals, black people, but now both is also broke as well. So you get the poor whites and the poor blacks. So I couldn't agree more, Bishop.
And you've got smart, bright, gifted, talented people who can't find an opportunity. Also in our community, and even in other communities, you have this dilemma of people who made mistakes when they were young, some criminal justice issue. And 25 years later, they can't get a job or a place to stay.
Right. True.
That's a real problem. So rather than to go get a job, I thought it was important to talk about being a job.
Ooh, come on, Bishop.
About being a job.
About
hiring yourself, about the opportunities that exist to create your own reality, your own business, your own company, to be the CEO of you. The CEO of you.
And I think it surprises a lot of people to hear you talk like that who are only familiar with you as a preacher.
Right.
I mean, there's no doubt, okay, when I go to preach for Bishop Jakes, I've had the privilege to do it 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
I spend as long trying to figure out what I want to say in my introductory remarks to honor him because of what he's meant to me as I do on my message. And I never can quite find the words, but the last time I think I was with you, I gave you a nickname. I don't know if you remember, I called you the Slasher.
Yes.
And I called you that because I called him that because no matter what title someone would put with the name T.D. Jakes, they would have to put a slash after it.
Yes.
So you're a pastor / author New York Times best-selling, multiple #1, 793 weeks author, slash producer, slash record label executive, slash philanthropist, slash father, slash husband, slash. So I call him Slasher. Probably the first time you've ever been called that.
That got me an FBI investigation.
And don't you worry if you're watching right now, we're gonna get to the juice of this, but let's just relax, grab a coffee, grab a tea, grab your favorite beverage, let's chill, and let's react together.
Thank you very much.
At the heart of that nickname, though, is a lot of admiration. I wonder, when did you decide not to be limited by one title or one function?
I never knew that the way people described you would become a prison until they did it.
Let's stay right there. A prison based on how they describe you. Go deeper, Bishop.
When I met me, I was not a preacher. So I didn't know that they would incarcerate me with the title. You are at your best when you are authentic to your core. And you have to be what you are, not what they call you. Sometimes, you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes people will call you a name and you start living up to the name and it limits you from what else God wants to do in your life. And by the way, I get a lot of credit for inventing this, but the credit is really misplaced. Because when you think of the Apostle Paul, he was a writer. He was a thinker, respected by the thinkers of his age at a time when there were profound thinkers in Paul's age, known for his ability to be progressive intellectually. He was a speaker, he was a writer, he was a tent maker. He was able to influence Aquila and Priscilla, not because of his preaching, but because of his business. They shared the same business. And out of that business influence and affluence, a relationship emerged that affected the kingdom. When you look at Jesus, who was a carpenter's son, and later they called him a carpenter, he who handled wood ended up nailed to a tree. And what happens in life as we evolve as a person, we cannot allow ourselves to be incarcerated by anything that people would describe us with, because we limit then what the Holy Spirit can do in your life. You understand?
I do.
Let me jump.
And this is so evident, especially for those that are gifted in many areas. If you've gifted in many areas and now all of a sudden you pigeonhole in one area, you feel like you're incarcerated. So true, Bishop.
I can say this one quick thing. I think if Jesus had come in our day, he would have been a filmmaker. But because they didn't have films, he told parables.
Okay.
But if you think about it, parables are movies made of words. If he were to come today, he would have done films. Imagine how that would look like today. Most of what we call church, we would have to teach Jesus.
What?
Jesus never saw an usher. He never saw a greeting committee. Jesus never saw a choir. Jesus never met a deacon. Jesus never had a board. Jesus never had a whole lot of things that we would have to go through and say, now, Jesus, don't sit over there. That's the reserved section. And Jesus, when you get ready to leave, put your finger up, tip out.
I don't know where that came. I remember being in church as a young guy, as a young kid. And when people left the church, they would go to the back and they would walk out with their hand up. I guess it's a sign of respect, but I wonder where that came from. And it's so true. If Jesus was here, we would have to teach him, because where did those rules and regulations come from when it came to the way we dress, for example? Like we just spoke about initially, me commenting on how Stephen looks. He looks very relaxed. He's got jeans on. They both have jeans on. I guess it was at that time just the fashion. So you can't really ridicule. And I think we're just moving on with the times now. So I think we all did our best with what we had back in the day. And it's good to see we are moving with the times now.
Accoutrements that attach itself to religion often block our view from revelation. Yeah. And because I was raised by a dying father, born in between two dead babies, I really value the preciousness of life. The baby before me died and the baby after me died, and my mother clutched to me as only a mother can who has lost a child. And an appreciation for the value of life and a refusal to allow anybody to take away the great privilege of being alive. I will think for myself. I will move in my own direction. You can say whatever you want to say about it, but I'm gonna be me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the core of everything, SOAR is saying, don't be limited. Don't put a period because you did one thing that you can't do something else, that you can't be something else, that you can't evolve as an individual, that you can't explore other idioms of thought. Let me shut up because I get to talking. I'll talk.
That's great. I want to dig deeper into that because the arc of your teaching and one of the most influential messages that I've received from you is get out of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you open your mouth, some version of that's going to come out. Maybe from the Old Testament, or maybe from a chicken's egg. You know, there's some way that you're going to tell me get out of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. I wondered though, because I've also heard you teach so much about your capacity. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to get to the capacity. It just came to my mind. Two people have shared with me in the past year that I look like a Pastor Stephen Furtick with, or they didn't say I look like it. They said I reminded them of him. Essentially, I look and I sound like him, essentially what they said. I'm really curious. Do you think that? I can see the beard. I can see perhaps the resemblance of the beard. But in any other way, I'm curious. I mean, it's a major compliment, but I actually don't see it. I don't see it. I could see it perhaps in the beard, but I'm struggling to see how they wrap their head around that one. But let's continue. We're talking about the capacity.
That each person has a God-given capacity. Mm-hmm. For the person who is trying to decide, who am I, what can I do? I don't know yet. I haven't tried yet. I think I know what I have. I don't know if I have it or not. How do we know the difference between staying in our comfort zone versus going beyond our capacity?
You're only measured in terms of success by his investment in terms of contribution. If he gave one man 1 talent, another man 2 talents, and another man 5 talents, he didn't expect the man with 1 talent to produce 10.
Okay.
But at least give me 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The man who had 2 talents came back with 4. The man with 5 talents came back with 10. The man with 2 talents came back with 4. The man with 5 came back with 10. Those are the same things. That's 100-fold.
Yeah.
The man with 1 came back with nothing. Now, the Apostle Paul says that when we compare ourselves with one another, in so doing it is not wise, because we don't have the same starting place. So if I'm going to make success predicated on what my neighbor had, mm-hmm. that is only fair if I started with what my neighbor started with.
True.
Let me ask this.
So we're not going to be comparing ourselves because we didn't start with the same ingredients that our neighbors had, our friends and family, and so that's an encouragement right there.
What if I'm not clear about what I started with? Because I've heard you do this thing before too. Okay, the advantage I have interviewing you is I have a library of things that you've said. I don't think there's been a sermon.
I don't remember, by the way.
Yeah, so I have
I'm scared to death
the upper hand. But you do this thing, all right, I saw him do this thing at a preacher's conference once. And he said, I won't imitate your voice.
Go ahead.
Come on. Let's see.
He has this really intense mode. There's a wide open Bishop Jakes, and then there's a very intense, it's many gears, but it's equal intensity, and it's terrifying. But it was a pretty big moment, and you say, "There's nothing that I have that you don't have. I have one mouth. You have one mouth. I have 2 ears. You have 2 ears. And you know how descriptive he is. He went all the way to the toenails.
Yeah, Jake's life doing that. He goes in detail, but that's what makes him so powerful. You see how Pastor Furtick just makes his raspy voice. Ay.
And I'm just being honest, Bishop, respectfully, I was thinking, that's not true. You have this mind and this ability and this voice, even as a preacher who admires you so much. There's a part of me that goes, I know the point is that God has given each of us a calling, but I think a lot of us, when we hear about the parable of the talents, we don't know, well, do I have 1? Do I have 2? Do I have 5? I don't want to get out there and do something stupid that I wasn't meant to do, but I don't want to stop short.
You're really hitting on something. First thing, I am in touch with myself in a way that a lot of people are not. I know me. I dated me.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Get your mind out of the gutter right there. Hey.
Yeah. It's funny, but it's true. I've dated me. I know me. You know, when you date somebody, you explore them to see who they are. Yeah. Most people are so busy dating other people they never dated themselves.
Woo, come on. Yes, sir.
When God says to
you gotta just you just gotta stay right there, man. This is some nuggets right here, and we're just like 15 minutes in already.
Adam, the very first command God says to Adam is to be fruitful. You can only be fruitful if you are seedful.
Ooh, come on, teach them.
So we're talking about the difference between fruit and seed. Identifying your seed is what causes you to be fruitful. The first revelation of seed should happen in your family. You should have parents who are looking at their kids looking for seeds. I'm going to give you my grandbaby story. You asked for it. You're going to get it. You're just going to get it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
We're in my church and it's dark and my grandbaby's in there and a bunch of friends are in there and we're taking pictures and I can't find the light. And, the lights are complicated and I can't figure out how to turn all this stuff on. And so we're trying to get some pictures. And so my grandbaby ran and she says, wait a minute, Paul. I'm going to get a flashlight. She went up under the pew where we have hidden flashlights, snatched down a flashlight and brought it over and said, now take the picture. Okay. And so I said to her, I said, baby, don't you want to be, Kenzie, don't you want to be in the picture?
Yeah.
She said, no, I don't want to be in the picture. I want to hold the light. Ooh. That's the seed right there. That's the seed right there. So we came back to the house and I was getting ready to take a picture and I'm trying to keep up with you millennials, it's so hard. And I was trying to take a selfie and I got a timer, where you can back up and go,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. If you follow me on it.
Isn't that so true, eh? Whenever we take pictures or take a video, it's almost like we become a different person. You can be walking, with your crew and you guys are just chilling. Someone takes their phone out. You see this? People take their phone out and then they all of a sudden just act the fool when the camera comes out.
Instagram, this is true. And so I couldn't get my phone to sit up. And she went and got some books and propped it up. And I told my daughter, I said, put her in leadership classes, put her in management classes. She's a problem solver. Woo. That starts early. Her instinct in a situation is to solve the problem. She says, I don't want to be in the picture. I want to hold the light. Those are seeds.
Wow. Okay.
Directing that child toward an area where you can cultivate what God has planted down inside of them is important. It's very, very important. Mm-hmm. There are people in this room that have dormant seeds laying inside of them.
Talk to us.
That if they get in the right atmosphere, they're going to turn into things you have never seen before. They didn't always have the benefit of parents who could see it or had time to see it or knew how to see it. But even as adults, there are still seeds down in you that have not been touched yet. That's what happened to Elisha. He was fulfilling his parents' vision.
Okay.
Plowing in the field. That boy wasn't no farmer. Just because you can run a plow doesn't mean you're a farmer. But sometimes we get stuck in what people expect.
Right.
And we never find out who we are because we're living somebody else's dream.
Oh, my Lord. The question is, are we living somebody else's dream? Are you living somebody else's dream? Are you living your boss's dream? Are you living your parents' dream? Are you living the expectations of everyone else besides yourself? This is an Aina moment. It's an ouch moment. Come on, Bishop, talk to me.
So there he is plowing in the field doing what his daddy wanted and going around and said, I guess this is all life has for me. And he's going around and around in circles. Like many people are listening to me right now. You go to work, go to church, go home. Go to work, go to church, go home. Go to work, go to church, go home. You're plowing around in circles until Elijah passed by him. And then he was exposed to something. The moment he was exposed to something greater, he dropped something lesser. You understand what I'm saying?
Got it.
That's why.
So when you are exposed to something greater, you drop something lesser. Wow.
Conversations like this are important.
Yeah.
Because really, I'm not throwing seeds, I'm throwing fertilizer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if it hits the seed, it's going to give birth to companies and businesses and books and artistry and drama and all kinds of stuff that's in this room that people never have given themselves permission to burn their plow.
Yeah.
That's what this book is all about, Pastor. It is about, I'm not against people working a job, but we have entrepreneurs in a job, and you're frustrating the company and you. Nobody likes you. They don't like you.
Let me ask you this
because you're scared of what I'm getting ready to say.
I just think that's a very tweetable moment. They don't like you at Bishop Jakes. It's so true. They don't like you.
Wow.
Touch your neighbor and say they don't like you.
They don't like you. Imagine. Hey.
No, I just want to clarify because it seems like entrepreneur is a trendy title these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You hear it more and more. Mm-hmm. It's not a weird thing anymore. It's kind of sexy to post, on my grind and, What do you think about that, Bishop? Because I would imagine that generationally, I know enough about how you grew up. Maybe people would like to hear a little bit about what it means to you. What's the essence of entrepreneurship to you, your value system, versus how you see it being portrayed culturally now, especially in a younger generation.
Come on.
Most of the time today, when people say they're on their grind, they overslept, they're laying on the couch and they're eating cereal.
That's what it means?
Yeah, that's what it means today.
That is
not what it meant in my day, and that is not what makes people successful. I have to be careful about even going down this road. I have been so blessed to get in the room with some of the most incredible people on the planet. I had lunch the other day with the CEO of AT&T. And we sat for hours and hours talking and interacting with each other and became friends. Last Sunday, I was invited to Oprah's house as she launched her book. And I've seen her behind the scenes and seen how she operates, who she.
Speaking about Oprah, many people are so up in arms with Bishop T.D. Jakes, associating himself with Oprah. And I can't understand why. Listen, we're all on this planet. Oprah's doing great work. He's doing great work. As long as they're contributing to society in a good way, guys, let's not get caught up in that nonsense.
Is in what she does.
Pretty nice place.
Instead of burning my plow when I came home, I started to burn down my house. Okay? I said, I'll set it afire. The insurance will pay for it.
I wonder, can you imagine what Oprah's house looked like? Man.
I've seen people who were on their grind. I've seen Steve Harvey's on his grind. I've seen people on their grind. What on the grind really is a work ethic that would blow your mind. It would blow your mind. I'm 60 years old, and everybody who works for me is younger than me, and they'll tell you, I'll work you up under the table. I'll work you up under the table.
Where does that come from?
My father.
Okay.
My father, absolutely. My father is rigged. Let me tell you, this chair is about to break. My father's sitting here and my mother is sitting here and they're fighting for the mic from moment to moment. My grandmother talks to you every now and then. All of my ancestors are sitting on this table all the way back to Nigeria.
Come on, come on. Yes, sir.
All of them. My ancestors were Igbos from Nigeria. And Igbos are called black Jews, that they're industrious, that they go after things, that they're hardworking people. So
Igbos are black Jews. I didn't know that. Interesting.
all the way back in my DNA, we were self-sufficient. And all of them are sitting here. Folks whose name I can't even call. So what we're talking about is culture. Okay, and not racial culture, family culture, where the demonstration of what my father decided what grinding was. You weren't grinding till Daddy said you were grinding.
Gotcha.
Take your hands out your pocket, boy, like you got $1 million in your pocket. They trained us not to be lazy. They talked about lazy like it was a disease.
Whoa, come on.
I mean, like it was
the worst thing you could be.
It was the worst thing you could be. You know, and two things to this day. I shouldn't say that in your church. I can say this in my church, so I'm going to say it in your church. And I'm going to let you figure out all the mail you get. Two things to this day I cannot stand is a stinking woman and a lazy man.
What? A stinking woman and a lazy. I see a lazy man, but talk to us about a stinking woman. Wat gaan nou aan? Stinky vrouwmens wat? Wat gaan? Talk to us.
They like that.
There's some folks that agree with me out there.
Let's just hear it one more time. A stinking woman.
We're Igbos from Nigeria, and Igbos are called black Jews, that they're industrious. And I'm going to let you figure out all the mail you get.
Talk to us.
Two things to this day I cannot stand is a stinking woman and a lazy man.
Go deeper, Bishop. Go deeper. Hey, stinking woman, eh? Stinking man.
They like that.
There's some folks that agree with me out there. Our sister got to take a bath, praise God. Our sister got to throw some water here and there. I ain't talking about baptism.
He really went there, nah? Nah. So a woman, he says a stinking woman, like a woman that stinks. And he's not talking about baptism. He's not talking about washing with holy water. He's saying taking that Dove soap, taking that Irish Spring, taking that detox, taking that sunlight soap and washing all areas from the head. Everywhere.
I'll give a brother a pass on the smelling good if he works hard.
That's true.
But don't tell me you're on the grind and you're not really on the grind. Here's the problem. The Bible said Benjamin, Jacob was dying, laying in the bed. Talking about fathers to son. He's laying in the bed, he's dying. And he sat up. The Bible said Israel strengthened himself. Notice that, Israel strengthened himself, sat up in the bed. And he said, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning, he shall devour the prey. And in the evening, he shall divide the spoils. Notice the time clock there.
Yep.
In the morning, you devour the prey while you're young. See there?
That's the intensity thing I was talking about. You see that? Imagine when he has a steak knife across the table.
One lady jumped back 3 rows, just said, in the morning.
I see a lady really scared out right here.
My mother was a school teacher. She was dramatic. In the morning, you should devour the prey. In the evening, you should divide the spoils. If you don't devour when you're young, you'll have nothing to divide when you're old.
It's incredible.
Gotcha.
I am scared to death of people who are young in sin. I just can't figure it out.
So true.
I haven't made up my mind yet. I tried that. I didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. I think you better hurry.
Right.
Yeah.
You better
Get your ass moving. Get your butt off the ground and start moving. Goodness sake.
shoot something right now.
Right.
Because youth goes quick.
Right.
I mean, like, he goes like a runaway slave. He goes.
Bishop is really funny, eh? Like, when you really just sits down and have a conversation, he's actually really funny.
Youth is an underground railroad with Harriet Tubman. It gets away, okay? So
these are things I would not
you
say.
Can't say. So you just
right,
sit there now.
Because he's white, eh? You cannot say these things, eh? So true.
Am I on?
And have the white man's liability of turning red. See, we get embarrassed and you can't tell it, but when you're embarrassed, you turn red. God bless you. It's going to be rough tonight. It's going to be rough tonight.
Hyena Pastor Furtick is, you can see he's really blushing and embarrassed there, eh?
In the morning, hear me, people. In the morning, devour something. Throw your whole self at something. You'll never know what you can do and what you can be until you throw your whole self at it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
devour it. I mean, devour it. Don't try it. Devour it. Attack it. Attack it like you're going to kill it. Devour the prey. And in the evening, you divide the spoils. We have it backwards today. We want to divide the spoils in the morning.
Whoa, talk to us.
So we're blinging when we ought to be devouring.
Come on.
See, don't worry about whose name you wear when you're young. Worry about your name.
Come on, Bishop. We all want to wear Gucci, Prada, Balenciaga. But what about your name? Shit. This is such a nugget right here. And we're about to build our names in 2024. Starting from today, we're going to start building, baby.
God told Abraham, I will make your name great.
Come on.
Yeah.
I will make your name great. There is an old person down inside of you that's dependent on you to be smart. It's the person you're going to be 30, 40 years from now. Do not disappoint that person by being foolish through the strongest years of your life. And then when your back is out and your knees are swollen and you can't move around, now you're out there going to get your grind on now? It is the message you tell yourself. I'm tired, I can't do that, I don't feel like. What we become what we say to ourselves.
Be good.
You will never win the Olympics talking about, oh no, I don't feel like working out today. I don't know, I'll do it when I feel like it. If I don't feel like it, I don't do it. It's because I'm not into working out. I want to get the trophy. I want the trophy, but I don't want to go through what it takes to get it. You devour in the morning. You divide in the evening. And if you try something and it doesn't work, it's okay.
It's okay.
Try something else. If my son said to me, he said, Daddy, he said, my baby boy, he said, Daddy, I'm going to school. He's finishing up a 4-year degree in musical engineering. He said, I think it's the thing I want to do. But he sat at the dining room table with me. He said, but suppose I'm not. Suppose it's not. Suppose I throw everything at it and it's really not the thing.
Wow. I just want to recap. He spoke about the power of life and death is on the tongue. So whatever we say, it creates our outcome. And now he's talking about his son talking to him and asking him the question, Dad, what if I throw everything into this and if it doesn't work out? How many of us has been in that situation and is in that situation right now where we feel like, listen, if I give 100% into this business, if I give 100% into this marriage or relationship, and what if it doesn't work out? Bishop, talk to us. What do you have to let us know?
And I leaned back over the table and I said, don't worry about it, son. If it is not the thing, it will be the thing that leads to the thing.
Okay. Let's go into that. What's been in your life ministry?
Nieman, Stephen, Pastor Furtick, how can you just brush over that and ask another question, man? I want you to acknowledge that powerful statement that he just mentioned. Do you feel me? Huh? Bishop, one day I'm going to interview you, okay? And we will do it right. Pastor Furtick, you're doing a wonderful job, and I appreciate your ministry. Let's see what the next question is. But I just wish you just asked him, man, and just acknowledge what he just said, man.
Industry or business, what's been a thing that led to a thing? I love the part in the book about Viagra, by the way. It's in the book. You have to get the book. It's just an example.
In Jake's book, is he talking about Viagra? Wat gaan hier aan?
You're talking about Coca-Cola and other products that were discovered by accident. It's the idea that sometimes in doing something that fails, you lead to something that you didn't even know that was really the whole purpose all along.
Absolutely.
All right, so give us 1, 10, 20 examples of those in your life, things that you accidentally succeeded at.
Okay. Everything in my life I stumbled into.
Is that right?
I stumbled into. I never thought I would be producing films. My wife and I started out doing gospel plays and going on tour during gospel plays. We had no intention that we were going to ever do movies. We were trying to do plays and trying to figure out how to do that right, and losing money. And we went to Atlanta and just lost our shirts putting up the first play. And in the process of stumbling around, we finally figured out how to get the play kind of going good. And then I met this dude that I said, let's collaborate and do it together. And the dude was, what was his name? Tyler Perry, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard about him somewhere.
Yeah. Tyler Perry was fresh out of sleeping in.
Of course, you know who Tyler Perry is, but for the one person that doesn't know, Tyler Perry is a major, mega producer in the States. And they're just underplaying and downplaying their relationship right there, man.
His car,
right?
And I was fresh out of money. And so we got together and collaborated and did a play called Woman Thou Art Loose. And we toured the country doing Woman Thou Art Loose. And then we went to LA and did it. And a guy named Reuben Cannon was in the audience. You never know who's in your audience. Footnote to preachers, speakers, singers, anybody on the stage.
Yeah.
Never adjust your performance to the crowd.
Okay.
Because you never know who's in the crowd.
You never know.
You never know. Always respect your audience with your best performance. I don't care if it's 3 people. One of those people might change the trajectory of your life.
Wow. And that's such a pivotal point over there, because especially when starting something new, like social media, for example, I'm starting out right now and I may not see the tens of millions of views on videos, but I respect the views that I get right now, because like Bishop said, you never know who's watching. They may change the trajectory of your life, but even so, even if they don't change the trajectory of your life, you've made an impact to 1, 2, 3 people, and that's what matters. So major respect for that encouragement, Bishop.
So Reuben Cannon was in the crowd, and he saw the play, and he said, I want to make it a movie. He said, I want to make it a movie. I didn't have no movie money. Movie and money both start with the M for a reason, okay? When you have one, you got to have the other. But he said something to me that becomes the way business people think. They don't fail to do something because they don't have the money. He says, we'll raise the money. Let's do the movie. Listen to the difference in attitude. I can't do it because I don't have the money. He doesn't see money as an issue.
Okay.
If you see it as an issue, it'll be a stop sign.
Don't see it as an issue.
He says, we'll raise the money. So Cedric the Entertainer, and I can't remember who all, Oprah put some money in it, and different people put some money in it because he knew them. Relationships are your greatest resource.
Come on, Bishop, come on.
People who don't like money don't like resources, because everything that's ever going to come to you is going to come through a person. Wow. That's why you got to be careful how you treat people, because it's not guaranteed that it'll be somebody you like, your friend. They won't necessarily be your color, and they may not have your theology.
Wow.
Okay? Wow. But God may use them to bless you. You know, the ravens didn't go to church, but they fed Elijah. So anyway, we...
Bishop, stop cooking like this, man. And Pastor Stephen Furtick, just let him know he's doing a great job, man. Yeah, no, man. He's cooking right here.
Put the money together.
Oh, it's coming through relationships. It's just a reminder for us that relationships are so key. The number 6 pillar in the core values for Driven Daily is relationships matter, and it's for this very reason.
We put the money together, and we did this little low budget film Woman Art Loose, and just on a whim submitted it to the Santa Barbara Film Festival and won the festival.
Wow.
And all of a sudden the movie that we were going to put on TV went to screen. You see how you're stumbling into it? Yeah. It's not always that you planned it, but if you honor where you are with your best effort, even if it is not it, it will lead to it.
Wow. Yes, sir.
So as you walk along, you stumble into it. I was telling my church Sunday, if you go to my stream and stream our service Sunday, you get to see a big, ugly 6'2" man start whimpering and lips start trembling.
Got you
trying
good.
not to cry. Yeah. I had no idea when I was pastoring in Smithers, 40 people, 50 people.
Smithers, West Virginia.
West Virginia. On Easter. 40 on Easter. On Easter, bro.
Right. On Easter.
On Easter. That's counting pregnant folks and dead.
On Easter, bro.
Members, we had about 50 people. I had no idea that the Potter's house was in me. You stumble into it.
Yeah.
But until you dignify the 40, you don't get the 40,000. The problem today is that people are so busy going after the 40,000 that they don't respect the 40.
That's
and
right.
if you don't do your best with the 40, you won't get to the 40,000.
Yeah. Come on.
So all of my life, I stumbled into relationships and situations and circumstances that I had no idea were going to happen in my life. But as you dignify the present with your attention.
Yeah, I like that.
To be present in the moment.
I like that.
Wow.
That is so important. And sometimes I have to make myself do it because I'm such a planner. I'm so strategic. I'm really 10 years ahead of where the calendar is right now. I'm waiting on it to catch up. I got plans.
You are so strategic.
Sir.
That's what blew my mind about you. I thought you were just a cyborg.
And it's just want to just step in here to let you know, hey, listen, this is such an encouragement for me to let me know that I cannot despise the days of small beginnings. It might be small right now, but if we give super high quality to the small beginnings, God is going to bless us with more. So major salute to you, Bishop.
Before I met you? Do you know what I mean, though? I thought you were
Look
just...
that up. Did he curse at me?
He said he thought of Bishop as a cyborg when he met him. Bishop said, do you curse at? Is he cursing at me?
I thought there was this force of nature. Bishop T.D. Jakes was a force of nature. And some little things that I've seen, some little things that I've noticed. There's a, I thought I would use a prop. Bring me that, yeah, that one. This is from the book. I saw, thanks, Jonathan. See, he didn't want to come all the way up. He just stopped short. You won't get blessed like that, Willie Bishop. You got to come all the way. Fell short of the glory. It's all right. All of sin. But I love the quote in the book. You compare our vision to architecture. And you talk about how if you plan it with a pencil, you can weld it with steel. And that's what surprised me about you, because you're so gifted. There's no denying that. When I saw the systems, the structures, the thought process that goes behind who you are, it almost made me depressed because I realized, oh, this isn't magic. You may have stumbled into it from one perspective, but from another perspective, it was strategic stumbling. At least you were trying to do something.
Let me interrupt you.
Please.
You stumble into it. God gives you an opportunity, and what you do with that opportunity is your gift to him.
Got it.
You understand? When God gives you an opportunity, instead of just jumping on the opportunity, you're supposed to see what it can be. I tell them all the time, you know, God never made not one table.
Yeah, I love this. Do this. This is really.
God never made a chair. In all of his years of being God, he's never made a chair. He's never made a table. He just made a tree.
Ooh, come on.
And the rest of it was up to us.
Right.
Okay.
When God hands you a tree, imagine a table, a chair, imagine a wall in a room, imagine a log cabin, imagine what it can be, imagine what it can be, imagine what it can be. God of mercy.
Yes, sir.
If he hands you a child, imagine what it can be. If he hands you a spouse, imagine what he can be.
Yes, sir.
Oh, God, I feel his power. I feel his presence.
Yes, sir. Come on, Bishop. Stand up on your feet. Come on.
Your church is rowdy. They shout and stuff.
A little bit.
I didn't know that. I was out.
What did you think we did over here?
I think it's because, you know, typically, and this is coming from a good place. It's not being, you know, prejudice or anything. But, you know, when it comes to black churches and white churches, typically the stereotype is white's more reserved, black's more rowdy. Pastor Stephen is white, so it's like he's thinking, ish. But they are rowdy, eh? They are shouting.
This is Elevation Church!
Yes, sir. Show us what you got.
Should see him at University City. Look at University City.
What's up, University City? Hello.
Wow, always people, eh? Crazy. So cool. Let's get up. It's so cool.
I'm in South Africa and I'm on a safari. And
Yes, sir. All my South Africans in the house. Let's hear what he's got to say. He's in SA. Let's hear.
I'm really like tripping off of this safari, and I'm out here with all of these big animals and stuff. And I noticed the elephant is moving around. The elephant is strong and he's big and he's tough and his power's in his weight. And he throws his weight around. He throws his weight around. What can you do with him? Because he's so big. God made him big as a defense.
Yeah.
The lion roars. When he roars, everybody is almost paralyzed in fear.
Yeah.
Because God gave him his roar as his defense. The cheetah says, I can't roar like that, but I can run like the wind.
Okay.
The cheetah, he goes running through the woods because God made him able to run because that's his defense. The eagle spreads his wings and soars into the air and says, I can't run, but I can fly. God let the eagle be able to fly because it was his defense. And I'm walking around in the jungle and I said, well, Lord, I can't fly like the eagle. I can't run like the cheetah. I can't roar like the lion, and I can't throw my weight around like the elephant. Okay. What did you give man as his defense?
Okay.
In the whole ecosystem of human, of life force, what did you give me?
Yes,
he
sir.
said, I gave you a brain. Your brain is your defense. That's why God didn't make chairs. He only brings it halfway. And then lets you imagine, create,
collaboration,
develop. You understand what I'm saying? The problem with church people is that we are taught that God makes furniture.
Okay.
So we pray and 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 pray.
Come on.
Oh, I need a table. I need a table. God, give me a table. Give me a table, Jesus.
So true, eh? Till we blew in the face. Yeah.
Just one table, Lord. If you give me a table, I'll praise you. If you give me a table, I'll serve you.
Yeah.
And God says, I don't do that. I make trees. I want you to look around your life for trees. Not tables. God's going to bring it within the reach of your mind, and your creativity is going to take it the rest of the way. And it's going to turn into apps, and it's going to turn into Apple phones, and it's going to turn into computers. It's going to turn into satellite systems in the heaven. Look at what all we were able to do. No other creature, no other species has sent satellites up into the air, created smartphones. Look at what we did with our head. Why are we in church not using our head? I don't understand it. You know, in my neighborhood, they got this song, you know, that the young people used to sing. It's dated now, but they say, "Shake your money maker."
Yeah.
Okay.
And they go to twerking, you know. I ain't gonna show you. I got a couple moves right.
Bishop Ken Ali Dangana. He knows all of these things.
I ain't gonna show you, but they go to twerking. I told my church, the next time you hear that song, "Play Your Money Maker," don't shake nothing down here. Shake this with me.
Come on.
As a man thinketh, so is he.
Wow.
When you start talking about the type of strategic that I am, God gives me raw elements, and I stare at them. I stare at what I've been given, like I stare at a text. I preach the way I do, not because of what I know about the text, how long I stare at the text.
Wow.
I just stare at it. And stare at it. Stare at it. I look at my life, I look at my wife, I look at my kids, I look at my age, I look at my stage, I look at my influence, and I stare at it and imagine what it could be. Wow. And I build my strategy from my stare. See, I don't have time to be gazing at what you're doing. You understand? That's not going to help me. That's none of my business. God bless you. If I can help you, you know I will. But I'm not over in your business. I'm never going to be over in your business, because every time you turn around, I'm staring at mine.
So true. We should be so invested with the vision that God has given us that we've got no time to gossip. You know, I'm so passionate. When you say gossip with an H, we've got no time to gossip, damn it. Like, gone are the days where we sit around with folks and we talk about other people. Gone are those days. Gone are gossiping. No more gossiping. Ish.
For this season, for this stage, for this age in my life, what could I do with what I have left? Your miracle is never in what you lost.
Okay.
It is always in what you have left. If you're down to a handful of meal, that's all you need. If you're down to 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, that's all you need. And so when you start looking at what you have left, stop grieving over what you lost. Because if you needed it, you wouldn't have lost it.
Wow.
It might only be a pot of oil, but if it's left, the miracle's always in what's left. So what can you imagine with that? That woman, that pot of oil would have never done anything if you didn't pour it. It would pour as long as there was capacity to receive.
Yeah.
So when you start talking about being strategic, and this is going to help you a whole lot. For me, once I envision where I'm going, then I can tell what I don't need.
Okay. Go deeper.
Talk about that.
You see, if I packed to go on this trip based on where I was going,
yes,
I checked the weather.
Come on.
I looked at the places I was going to speak. And everything that I thought I would need for where I was going, I put in the bag. And anything, I didn't pack no swimming trunks because I figured I wasn't going to need them. Why do I load down my bag with things I don't need? Okay?
Yes, sir.
I want to circumspectly, with great precision, tailor my life down to the things that are necessary to get me where I'm trying to go. Stephen Mansfield, who is the CEO of Southern Methodist Hospitals, this chain of hospitals throughout Texas, a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Healthcare is a business. he also was the former president of the Dallas Regional Chamber of Commerce. And as he moved out of office, I was there. Incidentally, I am the first clergy to ever be on the executive board of the Dallas Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And there I am on the executive board. They control all the wealth that comes in and out of our city and all the planning and all the preparations to be able to move the city of Dallas forward. And there I am in a room full of CEOs and executives, and I'm listening at them talk, and I'm staring. I'm staring. I can tell a great preacher sitting in a crowd by how he stares while I'm preaching.
Yes, sir.
It's all in the stare, brother. I'm staring, and Stephen says something. He said, all of us CEOs know it is not where we're trying to go that is the problem. You can get great consensus from all of your staff on the goal. And we spend all of our time talking about the goal of where we're trying to go. Mm-hmm. He said, but all of you CEOs know that's not the problem. It is not where we're trying to go that is the problem. It is what are you willing to leave behind to get there.
Come on,
when
Bishop.
He said that, I ripped out my phone like I had to call somebody. I had both thumbs. I very seldom use both thumbs. I had both thumbs. I was just a peck. Is what are you willing to leave behind? Sure. If you're going to soar, you have to break a law to soar.
Okay.
The law is the law of gravity. The Wright brothers had to figure this out, that every time they tried to go up, Isaac Newton was right. Something kept pulling them down.
True.
There are people in this room that every time they go after their dream, something keeps pulling them down. They want to open up a not-for-profit. They want to open up a healthcare. They want to open up a home for unwed mothers. There's some lovely, good things. It's not about being rich. It's about purpose that they're trying to do, but every time they try to do it, that something keeps pulling them down. There is a law that always wants to pull you down to where you came from.
Wow.
You came from the dirt, and where you came from will always call you back.
What a powerful concept right there. This is a concept of course, the law of gravity. Is that it will pull you down from where you came from. And I think the analogy is definitely towards certain individuals in your life, but also your mentality. Your mentality will pull you down. If you try to break free from an old mentality, it's going to try to bring you down. What a powerful concept, Bishop.
You have to escape the gravitational pull of where you came from. And in order to do that, you have to break through into a higher law. The higher law is the law of aerodynamics. Okay. But you have to break into it. And what I need the force for it, the reason I need the runway to get my engines ramped up is because when I come up against it, and this is where young people make a mistake, they underestimate the pull to fall backwards. They saw planes take off and they said, I can do that, but they underestimate how much force it takes to break through the gravitational pull that brings you back down. So when they fall back down, they give up on themselves and they stop believing in themselves. Whereas if you would just go faster at it and go harder at it, you would break through the law of gravity.
Come on.
Oh, hallelujah.
Wow.
You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody has something that's trying to pull you back to where you came from.
Everyone.
And so when the Wright brothers built the plane, and the book is built around the Wright brothers, when the Wright brothers built the plane, they built it in Dayton, Ohio. And they built it in
Dayton!
Dayton! There's 3 old ladies over the corner there from Dayton.
They're so happy.
I'm teasing, I can't even see. But they were in Dayton, Ohio. And they figured out, they built the first plane in a bicycle shop. They couldn't say to themselves, well, when I get what I need, I'm going to build a plane. We don't have a manufacturer. We don't have any backing. We don't have any money. And by the way, we don't even have a degree. But none of that stopped them from building.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I wrote this book to people who don't have what they need.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay? Mm-hmm. I didn't really write the book to big-time entrepreneurs. Because all of those books you're talking about, they got them. I wrote this book to people with big dreams and little resources.
Yes, sir. Talk to us.
I wanted you to build your plane from a bicycle shop. And then they got it all built up and dated, and then they figured out something. And I can cite, I do in the book, I cite examples of things that I did that succeeded or failed off of this next thing. They said, we have to move to Kitty Hawk North Carolina, there were two reasons. One, if it came back down, it would fall in the brush and the landing would be better. And the second reason was the wind was right.
Okay.
There are times you can do the right thing in the wrong wind.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go deeper, Bishop.
Some of the things I tried didn't work because I didn't study the trend. I studied the plane, but I didn't study the trend and the wind that's necessary. Success has a lot to do with wind. If Colonel Sanders came along today and started KFC today, he'd go broke.
Wow.
Because today we're all worried about, carbs and fat grams and all this stuff. I'm a vegetarian. All of this stuff. We're reading up labels and all of that stuff. But he started his business at a time that women had just gone to work and families were used to home-cooked meals. His business solved a problem. The stats say that people who go into business because they want money are apt to go out of business 80% of the time.
That's so interesting. The KFC guy started, he's talking about the timing right here. He started KFC when women started going to work and the family still wanted home-cooked meals. And he was like, if he started the business right now with this age and mentality of everything being gluten-free, fat-free, sugar-free, flavor-free, taste-free, you would go broke. So timing. Come on, Bishop.
People who go into business who are successful don't go into business based on their need. They go into business based on their customers' need.
Yes, sir.
If your business or church or ministry solves a problem, it requires less marketing. You don't have to talk me into wanting something I need. But when I don't need it, you got to spend a whole lot of money talking me into something. So you want your business to be a solution. In fact, you want your life to be a solution. Nobody sends for a problem. They only send for an answer. If you're feeling lonely and you're feeling rejected, figure out how you can be an answer to somebody's problem and they'll always invite you.
So true.
Because people invite answers, they repel problems.
This begs the question, have you ever experienced individuals in your life where when you're always around them, it's always about issues and always them trying to get something from you? Have you experienced that? And Bishop is just touching on this now. Let us be individuals that are solution orientated. Every atom in our being should scream solution. And maybe we don't have all the money in the world. We don't have millions of dollars. We don't have everything we need. But when we are with others, let's be contributors. Let's not be subtractors. Can I get an amen in this house? Let me not start preaching up in here. Come on, Bishop. Talk to us.
So when you come in the room giving problems, it is the most unsexy thing you can ever do in the world.
It's true.
Somebody far less cute can get much further than you because they don't moan and groan and complain.
Yes, sir.
Really, when people ask you how you're doing, they don't really want an answer. We're not serious. Don't sit down there, well, I'm doing fairly well, but my knee is hurting and my back has been hurting from time to time. And when it rains, my eye starts twitching. I got a little pain going on right here. It's driving me absolutely crazy. And I just don't know what in the world I'm going to do because I got a thumbnail growing over here. It's just that's why I didn't wear the shoes I want to wear with this stretch. Because, get out of here, get out of here, crazy.
Bring solutions.
Bring solutions.
Bring solutions.
Bring solutions as a person. Bring solutions as a business. Bring solutions as a ministry. And you will always soar.
When's the first time you saw yourself as a solution?
I wrote Woman Thou Art Loose, and I didn't even know how to write a book.
Really?
No, I didn't know nothing about writing a book. I didn't know a thing about
How old were you?
book. In my 20s, somewhere in my 20s, late 20s. I wrote the book in a PC study Bible notepad because I didn't know what a word processor was. So there was a friend of mine named Pastor Clifford Frazier, who we were just getting into computers and stuff, us old guys. We was getting 28 old guys. We were just getting into it, And he said, why did you write all of this in a notepad? He said, it'd be so much better if you wrote it in a word processor. I said, what's that? I had written almost the whole book in the notepad of a PC study Bible. So it wasn't that I was proficient. It was that I had heard the cry of women who were hurting, sexually and emotionally abused, who were hidden in our churches at that time, and the church was ran by men who were deaf to the cry of the women. And when I heard their cry, I thought that there were biblical solutions to sociological and emotional issues. And so I started trying to get an answer out. And when I started teaching it, it was a Sunday school class. And more women came, and more women came. I didn't know it was going to be a movement. I didn't know it was going to be a book.
You know what we're going to do right here is we're going to fast forward to a little bit too closer to the end. I want us to wrap this up right now. But man, what a journey so far. Those of us that are on a line right now, Chantal, awesome stuff on YouTube, Jeremy, Angie, Hillary, Kelly, Ziyad, Gus, Rahul, Linda, Candace, all those that are joining in, a major salute to you. Thanks so much. Let's go closer to the end and let's hear what encouragement he has for us right here.
Talk about, I love this line. Innovation isn't just changing the flavor, it's changing the form. Whatever.
No, he cannot even move. Yeah. In the car so you can go to the hotel and sit. So what are you mad about? They're happy to be there because they never imagined themselves in the air. But you are not one of them. You are not one of them.
Come on, Doc. Talk to us.
Go
wrap this up
to the airport with people who love you.
Yeah.
But when you get to the checkout point, they can't go beyond it because if you don't have a ticket, you can't go beyond that point.
Okay.
Some folks you have to leave behind that you love.
Wow.
Because they have not paid the price to go into the next dimension. You understand what I'm saying? Don't you get on the runway now and get stuck on the runway and tell yourself it's all right. It's not all right.
Wow.
Because you belong in the air. Whatever that air is.
Come on, Bishop.
And I want it to write. You know, when you get about my age, you get all nostalgic and stuff, and you want to leave something behind that matters. I didn't want to be one of those people who flew and never taught flight. Wow. Most of the people I've seen who ever did anything never told anybody how they did it.
Yeah.
And I thought, since I got here by God's grace, I promised him everything you teach me, I'll teach it. Everything you show me, I'll show it. Everything I'll learn, I'll pass on to somebody else. There's somebody watching on the campus or streaming or sitting in the...
So this is the part that I really want us to pay attention to because it is coming closer to the end. And of course, this is the first time I'm watching this too. And you can just see that this is a part now where it's coming to really encourage you and I. So let's prepare our hearts for this.
Balcony who are sitting out here in front of me right now, you got a dream. You got a vision.
Oh, yeah.
I won't lie to you, it's going to cost you everything. You're going to hurt in places you didn't know you could hurt, and you're going to have 1,000 chances to give up, but don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Keep on moving. I tried to leave some tips about who you need around you so that you can pick your associates more carefully because it does have something to do with your success. I tried to speak to your need to have a rhythm so that you cannot lounge around here and let this moment pass you by.
Oh, no.
You are not as young as you think you are. You don't have as long as you think you have. It takes longer to settle something big than you think. You're thinking in days, I'm talking in decades.
Wow.
You don't have many. If you don't do it now, you'll never do it.
Wow.
because you may not ever see that cycle come back again. The only reason Saul wanted to kill David is that he was mad because he missed his turn. Wow. Touch everybody you can reach and tell them, do not miss your turn.
Don't miss your turn. Don't miss your turn. Don't miss your turn. Oh no, you're not gonna miss out turn 2024. Oh no. Don't miss your turn. And for you, don't miss your turn. Come on, Bishop. Come on, Bishop.
Bishop T.D. Jakes, everybody.
Wow. Ending off with don't miss your turn. Look, what a video. This video really encouraged me to let me know that I've got a brain. Like all the other animals have their strengths, we have a brain, and our brain is given by God to do miraculous things. And my encouragement for you is, as we have ended off with this video, is not to miss our turn this year. Years has gone by, year after year, and we've missed our turns every year. But this is going to be the year. This is going to be your year. This is going to be my year. This is going to be our year, not to miss our turn. I'm so glad we are on this journey together. Listen, this is Randall Reacts. If you have a video that is inspired you, I want to encourage you to put it in the comments below, and it may be featured on the next episode. But from my heart to yours, know that we are here not just to survive, but to thrive. And until next time, peace.